Hey guys, Collins here, and today we are back with another video. Which today we're gonna be going over marching band stories, or in better sense, it's actually more of my experience with marching band. Now, if you guys don't know what a marching band is, let me quickly and easily explain to you what marching band is. It's a band that marches, motherfucker. Yeah, you would think it'd be kind of obvious, but hey, yeah, marching band is a band that marches. So yeah, that's fucking amazing. 10 out of 10 would do again, but actually not really, because marching band was quite brutal. Now, not to hate on the program itself, as millions of Americans do participate in the program, both in high school and in college. It's just a matter of, well, I'm not exactly the type to, commit to very, very, very tedious and long and hardcore military-esque style discipline. I'm basically a fucktard. I'm a shitty YouTuber, let's just put it that way. And any extracurricular activities or anything that requires me to do anything kind of makes me want to kill myself. So that being said, this is going to be a real interesting story, so sit back, relax, and enjoy. So this story starts off like sophomore, junior year, kind of like in between. I believe it was February of my sophomore year, and that's when the sign-ups first happened, because you got to sign up for the program. You can't just fucking write your name on a piece of paper and say, I'm in, motherfucker. You can't do that, because you got payments to pay, you got things to do, because shit ain't free. Marching band ain't free. So obviously we have to go to a meeting and basically sign a bunch of papers, say payment in the order of fucking, I don't know how checks work, but basically we have to pay a bunch of shit, get a bunch of forms that needs to be signed by my legal guardians and or adult parents, because I'm unfortunately under the age of 18 and cannot do any legal documents, or at least I was. Now I'm 18 years old. Hallelujah. Sorry I didn't do a birthday video. I was kind of just enjoying my fucking birthday. Don't judge. But yeah, now I can snort crack up my asshole, and the po-po can't do shit about it. Actually, they can, but they ain't gonna find out. But personally, actually, yeah, I wasn't 18 at the time, obviously. I was 15, and between 15 and 16, so yeah, I couldn't, sign documents and shit, so I had to turn them into my parents. The parents to sign them, write checks, and do cool shit, because they're awesome parents. And then after that, we went right on there, and I turned in them dang old forms, put her into payments as well, and I was in. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Well, I wish it was like that, because, it wasn't, it really wasn't. It was hard. Now the story continues around, I think, mid-June, early July. I can't remember the exact date it started, but we were called in to do, a little bit of warm-ups and stuff, and have an instrument, and basically bring our instruments and sign them out, and do a bunch of cool shit regarding our instruments and shit. So we were supposed to go down to school, do that, warm up for a little bit, come back home, and that's first day done. And unfortunately for me, my motherfucking bike is like dog doo-doo. It fucking stinks, dude. Because literally 1 week after I got the bike as a birthday present, it fucking broke. Like literally one motherfucking week later. And the thing is, I chose out that bike because I thought it would be good, but Lord forgive me for misjudging it, because it was probably the worst bike I could have possibly chosen, because it didn't want to fucking work. And by that I mean it broke. It worked fine until it broke. So essentially, what happened was I was fucking biking to school. You know how a normal person bikes. Hands on the fucking thing. I forgot the handlebars. Yeah, I fucking knew that. I knew that. Feet on the pedals, because you gotta pedal your ass to school. You just gotta move your legs. Fucking energy. Fucking converting kinetic energy into fucking physics. So you're biking to school, or I was biking to school essentially. And all of a sudden I hear a clang, a crack, a creak, a motherfucking boom. Okay, well, maybe not the boom, but I heard some noises that kind of startled me and may have made my pee-pee go inside of me. Maybe it was Bigfoot. Maybe he was coming from my tight little asshole. But what I knew for sure is I wasn't fucking moving. I was pedaling, and my bike wasn't fucking moving. Like, the pedals were moving, the tires weren't moving. I wasn't moving. Well, I mean, I was moving a little bit because, I was already pedaling prior, but, really, I wasn't creating any more forward momentum, motion, physics stuff. And, I looked down and, oh, fuck, my fly is down. So I looked down, and no, my fly wasn't down, but in fact, my gear literally snapped off. Like, no joke, no scam. Fucking snapped. This was a 1 week old bike. Well, maybe it was a lot older considering it was sitting in my local Target, probably for a good couple of years. But I thought that quality control was a thing. I thought that maybe Target would, if they don't sell it within a year or something, they're like, well, fuck this trash bike, no one wants it, just yeet it into the garbage. Or I don't fucking know. Maybe that's not how businesses work. But what I did know for certain is I'm sitting on a bike without a goddamn gear. I'm running late for band. I don't know what to do. So I'm just sitting there, my hands getting all greasy and grimy and fucking dirty from all the, the fucking oils and grease needed for the fucking gears and stuff like that, and the chain. I'm trying to put it back on, put it back together again. But unfortunately, I couldn't do that because A, I didn't have the proper tools to put it back together again, which, that's a real unfortunate. And B, most importantly, it fucking snapped. It wasn't like, it didn't come off and, you could rehook it up. No, it fucking snapped. And I think a chain link or two had disappeared into the void of nothingness, which if you guys don't know what that is, that's what happens to your homework when you put it in your bag. You put it in your bag, it disappears forever. You'll never find it again. And I think that's exactly what happened to my gears. Actually, no, it was chain, not gears. Well, the chain links. I'm fucking retarded. But yeah, that's exactly what fucking happened because I couldn't goddamn find them. So I try to put it back together, and thankfully a man comes by, a nice gentleman here. He tries to help me out, but unfortunately, because A, the fucking goddamn chain links are missing, a few of them, and B, it snapped, and C, he doesn't have the tools either, he couldn't really help me, but he was there for some emotional support, which was really good. So yeah, I call my girlfriend, well, actually I text her, but I text my girlfriend and tell her, hey baby girl, hey girl that has nice big old titties, big old bitties, can you tell the band director that I'm gonna be a little late because I'm a fucking tard guard and my bike broke? Thanks, babe, love ya. And that's exactly what happened, because she told the band director I was going to be a little late because my bike broke, and I had to do the walk of shame to school. Now, thankfully, thank our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, I was actually only 10 minutes away from the school, so it wasn't that bad. I wasn't doing the walk of shame for like 10 miles, fucking huffing and puffing as I marched my bike to the school. No, I was only like maybe 10 minutes away. So because of that, I was able to get to school. I was like a little bit late for the fucking marching band thing. And, I was able to get an instrument, we were able to play a little, we warmed up, we were taught some basic things and stuff about marching band. We did all that, I was cool, and then I walked on home with my girlfriend. Thankfully, she only lives a little bit away from me, and I was able to go to my aunt and uncle's house because my uncle was able to repair my bike, because he is really cool. He's a man, unlike me. I'm just a little fat, chubby boy. My uncle is a real man with real muscles and a real bald head. So, that's just, he's a real man right there. But me, I'm just a fat little chubby motherfucker. So, point is, my bike ended up getting fixed thanks to my wonderful uncle, thanks to him. And, yeah, my bike was, pretty gosh darn okay for a little bit until it broke again. But, that's a story for another time, because it does not pertain to marching band. But what does is Rookie Week, which is essentially the first week where all the newbies, the rookies, the fresh meat, that's the week they come in and learn the basic shit. And, even though I wasn't technically a freshman, I still had to participate in it because I didn't know fucking nothing about marching band prior to this, because I didn't participate in it prior. So, I had to learn, because learning is good. I didn't know jack shit about it, and I was able to spend some time learning about it. Now, the first week was kind of rough, all things considered, because it was long grueling hours in the hot, unbearably hot motherfucking summer sun. Now I don't live in a place where it gets like 110 degrees. I don't live in a place that hot. However, where I do live, it can get up to like 90 in the summer, which, most people might consider to be good. 90 degrees. Collins, you're lucky, bro. Where I live, it gets up to like 120 degrees Fahrenheit. Bro, it gets up to 1,000 degrees Celsius. I am literally a fucking strip of bacon cooking in the hot summer sun. Well, kudos to you, but for me, I would consider you lucky, because while it may be only 90 degrees, there's a thing called humidity where I live. It's humid as fuck. And because of that 90 degrees feels more like 105 degrees. And with the humidity, stickiness, the wet moisture sticking to your goddamn body, it feels disgusting. You sweat a lot more. And considering we're marching in the hot sun, that doesn't change a thing. In fact, it makes it even worse. You're probably sweating 10 times as much, if not 20 times as much, dude. It's unbearable. And the hours were tough. It was like from like 2 in the afternoon to 6 in the evening. Now, that isn't that bad, considering once you get past 4 and the sun starts slowly descending down, it gets less and less hot. I think the worst time to be out is from 12 to 3. I think that's the worst time to be out in the sun. And thankfully, we're really only in the sun during that shitty fucking period for like an hour or two. And then once you start getting up to like 4, 5, and 6 o'clock, it gets, it's still light out, obviously, it's because it's summer. But, it's not that bad, because, the sun it's going down and the clouds are there, and, it's still hot as fuck. But, at the very least, most of our day was spent in the evening. So, that wasn't too bad. So after the first week, we learned the basics, how to march, because marching and walking are very different. Point being, though, first week was tough, long hours, learned some stuff, grew a big pee-pee from it, and yeah, that was real nice. And then after that, we were sticked on a highly strategic, highly encouraged schedule. I don't know what that even means, but yeah, it was a 3-day schedule, a 3-day regiment. Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. Now the way the scheduling would work is on Tuesdays, the brass would have their own sectionals. Like, it was like right after school, so around maybe almost 3 o'clock is when they'd start, and then they'd end in about an hour or so. And then for Thursdays, there was the woodwinds. Now, I'm personally a woodwind, so on Tuesdays, I only need to show up like, I believe, almost 6 o'clock is when the official rehearsal starts as a group. And on Thursdays, however, I did need to stay after school from like 3 to 8 in the evening, because, we'd have to do the thing. I don't know if I mentioned this already, but I played the saxophone, that's pretty cool. But, I did the thingamajigger with my group, where we basically practice songs. Because if you guys don't know, marching band kind of requires you to play some songs. Now, there are 2 types of songs we play. First and foremost is the movement. Now, the movement is essentially like, it's a story. A movement is like an act in a story, and we have to practice the movements in the song, which is part of the show that we're performing, because that's kind of the main point of a marching band, is to put on a show, like, like a strip club. Those ladies, dancing, they're putting on a show. I mean, granted, it's a little bit risque, a little bit of a rated R show, but a show nonetheless. And as for us, our show was probably rated more of a PG, maybe a G. So it wasn't exactly, we weren't exactly showing our titties, But, point being, though, we would either practice that or we'd be practicing the pep band music. Now, the pep band music was music we play at football games or other school-related events. But, the thing that confused me is we played Don't Stop Me Now. That was part of the pep band music we played, which, I mean, it's a good song. It's one of my favorites from Queen. I mean, I don't know if you can tell, but yeah, I'm wearing a Queen t-shirt right now.
Listen, I didn't want to say this in front of Patrick. That
t-shirt
makes you look like a girl.
Am I a pretty girl?
It's one of my favorite songs, but it doesn't really fit like the football, football! I would assume that you would probably want to play something like, We Will Rock You, which is more of a cult classic, like cult classic song, and especially would be popular at sporting events because it's very catchy and the crowd can play along. They stomp and clap along. And but no, we didn't play that. We didn't even play "We Are the Champions," which would have been a really fitting song to play when you win the football game. But football, I don't know if it actually really fit, and we rarely ever played it too, which was kind of a bummer. But whatever's. We would practice the music during our sectionals, and then we'd go inside to the band room where for like 45 minutes we would practice the songs as well as a collective group. And then when we were done with that, we'd go out to the field and actually perform the movement, not just the playing, but the actual marching. Now, there really isn't a particular story. Like I said before, this is more of just a experience that I'm talking about with a little bit of stories sprinkled in, but really, as far as I can remember, which is not very much because I'm retarded, there really isn't that many interesting stories, mainly because I'm an outcast personally. Like, I'm a very, very antisocial person, and even though I do like talking, obviously I spend like hours of my day talking in front of a goddamn camera. I mean, even though I like talking, I'm more of a antisocial kind of hermit. Like, I don't talk to people as often. I have to kind of learn to get comfortable around you in order to start being able to talk in conversation. So because of that, I didn't really get a chance to talk to very many people in both my section and the band as a whole. So I kind of just did my thing and, associated with some of the friends I knew prior to marching band. So because of that, it was whatever, okay? You would practice the movements every day we'd have, practice. And we basically practice the marching and we try to get it as good as possible. And the thing you gotta know about, band directors is when you're dead and tired and you need a break, and they say, look here, folks, we're going to run that back one more time, and then you can take a break. What they actually mean when they say that is, if you don't get it perfect that one more time, we're going to take it back 2, 3, maybe 4, possibly 5, probably 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times, until you can get it at least somewhat perfect. I mean, we know you're not perfect, but we want to get you as close as humanly possible. Now, I'm not really shitting on band directors for that. Obviously, they want their band to play at the best ability that's possible. So there's no hard feelings for that. I'm not giving them shit for that. But it's mildly upsetting when you're like dying for water or dying for a break, and then you're like, okay, one more time, guys, one more fucking time, and then you perform to the best of your ability. You play the notes, you play to your heart's content, and then your band director looks at you and goes, one more time, guys, one more time. You can do it. One more time, guys, one more time. And then you do it one more time, and then they rinse and repeat, one more time, guys, one more fucking time, guys. And, we prepared ourselves for homecoming. Now, I don't know if homecoming is specific to my state or if it's a nationwide kind of celebration, but essentially, if you guys don't know what homecoming is, it's basically like a celebratory thing where, like, there's this big football game, as well as just a bunch of people in the school coming together to celebrate, It's kind of like a big event for most schools. For me personally, outside of marching band, I've never really found it to be at all interesting. Because A, I don't like football. B, I don't like people. C, I don't like screaming. D, the gym that we celebrated in is really fucking hot. There is no AC, so it's pretty fucking terrible, all things considered. We're preparing for that because it was homecoming week when we were going to perform the movement, the first movement of our show. For lack of better words, it was kind of just a time where we're going to show off our musicality and musical ability to the whole school. Which, it's pretty cool if you ask me. And, at the football game, we went there, we're, in our uniform, because, we have two different uniforms. We have the pep band uniform as well as the main marching band uniform. We're sitting there, it's like late at night, we're tossing and turning, and, we see the footballs going up in the air, the fucking meatballs and testicles everywhere, and then finally it's halftime, and now we have to put on the best halftime show imaginable. Now, not really, no. I mean, we weren't gonna be a sweet victory kind of halftime show, but we're gonna be pretty gosh darn close. So we get up on the field, and I'm like, yes, we're gonna do this. And no, we did not do this because I fucked it up so bad. I walked into the complete wrong position I marched actually, because, walking and marching are two different things, but, I marched into the wrong position during, like the first set. Yeah, I walked into the complete wrong area because I had to march backwards, and I don't know if you know this, I'm not a fucking car. I don't have rear view mirrors on me. I can't see behind me. And I'm not allowed to just be like, oh, am I going to the right place? Hey, yo, am I going to the right place? Like I can't do that. I have to keep my head straight looking at the drum majors, which, if you guys don't know who they are, they're basically the student band, miniature junior band director people. Yeah, the junior band directors, that's what they kind of are. And they kind of lead the band and do other kind of shit. Not okay though. Oh, well, that came out weird, but okay. I fucked up, and overall, the rest of the show went on, and it went on pretty good, actually. Not bad. It wasn't that bad. You know, the parents, they don't give a shit. They see what's going on. They hear the music. You know, they're like, holy shit, yeah, you go Jimmy, yeah, football. And, you know, overall, it's a really good time. And, you know, lots of adrenaline, it's pumping. And, you know, you're having a good time. You don't want to stop at all, honestly. But, yeah, all things considered, that was a fantastic, cometastic time. And that's kind of the best part about marching band, aside from just the football games in general, is just performing and putting on a show. Like, it's really stressful, like, beforehand, like when you're just thinking about it, like, oh my god, I have to put this on right, oh my god, I have to perform, I have to play, I have to memorize the song, I have to memorize where I have to go, am I gonna mess it up? But, you know, when you're in the zone and performing it, it's a lot of it, there's enough adrenaline rushing through you due to nervousness, fear, and anxiety that it calms you down, essentially. Like it doesn't calm you down. I'm sorry, that's not the right way to say it. It motivates you to do your best, and, you know, when it's all done and over, the adrenaline rush that comes into you, it makes it feel fantastic, almost orgasmic. Now that's not true. No, that's not true, actually. But it makes you feel really awesome, and it's such a great experience. And, you know, no matter how good or how bad you do, the crowd is almost always going to be cheering, like, unless you fucking squeak out a high note or something like that. And even if you do that, the crowd is still going to be cheering. I mean, goddamn. And it's such a relief for it to be finally over as well, to be in the final position where you end off the movement or the show or whatever you're performing, and it's generally a really just insane, you know, rush, and it's great. It's a great feeling. And despite all the hard work, stress, and just overall anxiety and pressure being put onto you as a result, when it's all done and over with, it's honestly a great experience. And soon after that, we continued on, you know, practicing more and more movements. And the main issue that I started to come up with, like, you know, especially after movement 1 was over, was memorizing the songs. Now, movement 1 was fairly easy to memorize for me personally. It wasn't that difficult. I memorized the majority of it, like the few hard bits I could not get down. I left it up to the other, you know, smarter students to figure out. But for me personally, as a dum-dum, I think movement 1 was pretty okay, and I was solid with that. But once we got to movement 2, it started getting a lot harder to memorize, and mainly I was just fucking lazy. I didn't want to fucking memorize it. But movement 2, the songs in it were pretty good. Like, I believe one song was the Up theme from the Pixar movie Up, you know, the Married Life, I believe is what it's called. And still to this day, I have that sheet music on me because I just absolutely love that song. It's one of my favorites from Pixar, and just in general, it's, you know, I just really love the music in the second movement. It was really nice, and, you know, it sounded pretty bad coming from myself, but, you know, from everyone else who was playing, it sounded pretty good. And it was probably the hardest because of the time signature, because the time signature for the song was, I can't even fucking, I think it was like 312, 38. I can't if you know music, you understand why it's really fucking annoying. But because of the whack ass time signature, the way we had to march, you know, in time and everything was a lot more difficult. And the fact of the matter is, it was also a slower paced part of the show. So yeah, that was muy fun. I can't remember what fun was in Spanish, but it was great, I guess, totally. And yeah, we ended off on movement 2 fairly strong. I was confident, and then came band camp. Now, A lot of you guys who have been in band probably know what it is, and if you haven't, it's basically, for high school bands at least, it's 3 days, basically just fucking straight marching, and sure, you get a few breaks here and there, but that's pretty much about it. And unfortunately, my dumb ass decided to go on a trip on the 1 week, which was during fall break, that the whole band was doing the fucking band camp. And now band camp isn't required per se, but it's strongly recommended, as you basically learn pretty much everything there. And I missed out on so much crucially fucking necessary information, because I decided I'd rather go to fucking Disneyland than to actually fucking do a commitment I made. Instead of going to work, I went to Disneyland. So I'm a horrible human being, and I should probably kill myself as a result, because fuck me, I'm a horrible person. I should die. But, realistically, though, I was already told my band director months prior, that I wasn't going to participate in band camp. And personally, I wanted to just hang out with my family. And, it was okay and all. It's just a matter of, you really need to focus if you want to continue marching band. And thankfully, my pea-sized brain is big enough for me to be able to correct my mistakes. But for 2 months after band camp, I spent trying to catch up, and it was stressful as hell, because every time we get to the third movement, which I completely missed, I would not know where the fuck to go. I would not know what the fuck to do, and I was confused as all hell. Until, once we started putting the show together, and we started performing, I had to miss out on, 2 different shows, because I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. So finally, my band directors and myself kind of basically came to the conclusion that I had to at least attempt to participate and, have, other people around me guide me to where I'm supposed to go. And then from there on, just figure it out on my own. Because I can't just be sitting on the sidelines watching everyone do the movement and not participate and still get an A. And, whatever, fine. So I tried that, and, I regret not performing, because it was easy as hell, dude. It was fucking I learned the third movement in one single fucking day. One single motherfucking day, I learned the entire movement that took 3 full days for the rest of the band to learn. I caught on so quickly, and even though I made a few mistakes here and there, I went to the wrong place and I got confused. Once I got it down, I was golden. And from there on out, I was able to go to the shows and actually perform. For the last 2 shows. I'm happy to say I did participate in my junior year of high school in marching band, and while I did make a few hiccups here and there, and I did mess up a lot, it was overall an experience I don't regret. I think it was fun, it was enjoyable, it taught me a lot of discipline, and overall it was a pretty gosh darn cool experience. And while I don't intend on continuing on the program throughout college, the reason for that being I'm gonna have a lot more stuff on my plate than just AP homework or just regular homework, because college is not free. I have to pay for it, and I'm paying for an education, and therefore, because I'm paying for it, I gotta make sure I get straight A's. And I have a lot more on my plate this time than I did prior. And honestly, when it comes to the band program, I think it was good. I think it was a good 6 years. And will I continue playing the saxophone like Bill Clinton? Perhaps. But I won't be continuing on in any of the programs, at least not in college, because simply I just don't have the time nor the luxury to do it. With that being said, if you guys are on the fence and joining marching band, consider this. This is probably the best advice I could ever give you guys. If you're on the fence and joining any extracurricular activity, just ask yourself, how committed are you to completing said activity? Let's take band, for example. If you're really committed and you want to learn a musical instrument, you want to be able to have some sort of musical ability for one reason or another. Maybe you just want to play for your family, your friends, or you just want to have the ability to show off. Well, that may not be the best reason on earth. If you really, truly want to do it and you desire to be able to play an instrument, you should at least try it, even if it's just for 1 year. I mean, if you're in middle school and you join band for 1 year and you don't like it, well, that's just 1 year wasted. It's not that big a deal. And even if you decide to do it in high school, well, you still have 3 more years to figure out what you want to do in life. And now, when it comes to any other activity as well, you just really have to ask yourself, truthfully, are you going to do it? And if you are you going to enjoy it? Because if you're not going to enjoy your time in it, then there's no point in doing it. But that being said and done, hope you guys enjoy this story time, fucking Marching Man experience story. And hopefully a little bit of my advice goes a long way. Hope you guys enjoy. Twitter, Discord, Instagram, link in the description down below. Also my second channel, please check it out. I'm going to start doing some videos for that channel now. Okay, anyways, with that being said, hope you guys did enjoy. Goodbye. And farewell.